Welcome back to today's episode of the Clark is Grounded Show. So today's episode is Clark Rants on Urban Legend, an episode from Big City Greens and Gets Grounded. So keep in mind that I like Urban Legend, which is way better than No Service, aka the worst episode from Big City Greens. I hope you the shoe, and I hope you liked the video. Man, I can't believe everybody been hating on me just because I hate them. That's it. I'm gonna rant on Urban Legend, so you will see how you like it. A few minutes later, done. Now it's time to watch this video. So before I start this rant, if you like this episode, then SGTV is going to get terminated soon. Anyways, enjoy the show. Urban Legend, more like Uber Thief. Oh my god, this episode of Big City Green sucks. Let me prove to you valid reasons why I hate this episode. The episode begins when the two group of boys didn't get a chance to play baseball. And they were walking the sidewalk. And then they looked sudden at the Green's house. The lightning struck their house. And the boys and then dropped it near their property of trail of their homes. Into under of the step from the Green's house. They want to get to they are asking what they are doing. And then this light green boy is about to step into the Green's house, in which shaky and wobbly. And then he enters the house. Along with this boy. And then they were trying to get the under baseball. Then Granny scared them. And then boys run off. And then in the daytime, Chicken was soggy. And then he tries to get the fur. Looks like a puff. Bill cracking his eggs, and then he reads a newspaper, and the gang were on the table, and then he found the lost baseball that the boys lost yesterday. As Nancy reads the newspaper, and Bill was about to cook food. And then Nancy was talking about the trespassers. This guy, he runs away, and then he's surprised. Then he's smiling with the gang, and then he winks at them, and he got the eggs and hide them in their back, and then Cricket, till he was the previous, was just a white miners guy, and then I rolled and fainted, and then they talk about the visitors, and then they were talking about, then Cricket's thinking he has a plan among Granny, and Bill thumbs up. And then he has a plan, and then he got too much eggs, and they make an egg cake. Then he set up for the barbecue party, and he has who's cooking apron, and then they were, and they got this purple woman, and they said he doesn't want to vote, and even this grandma, even these two little girls decided to get it, and they walk away, and Nancy was looking at the window. And then it was that guy and the blonde hair woman and living water woman and this guy and the white blue woman are entering this house. This Bill were talking to them. This guy go, what about her? And then Nancy was talking about that grandma of their own. And then Tilly was talking with those guys. And then this guy goes, who wants the burger? And then the group of them say they do. As he was looking at the window, and then and Cricket was watching the TV with the remote, and as the new visitor enters the house, and he goes, this big white blue woman goes, your hair is lovely, and that guy gave him a fist bump, and then this woman was touring, and look at Grandma, and then white blue woman just found them, and then she goes, "You were super duper nice," and she was with them, and he was talking in slow motion, and then he left off the door, and then Granny has the plan, and then they were doing they got their burger, but they were looking at that grandma, and they have every pill weeks, and then they're ducking, and they point at her, and then this guy with this, he was looking straight, and then Cricket was among with this. Then Cricket crawls off, and then off to, and then this guy opens. It says, "You're cursed," but Bill edited it and says, "No, you're not cursed. Have a burger on me, Bill." And it's known as Bill, which is his name. And then they were exploding the flour as they were looking, and then and they said she disappeared, just though like Blue Woman, and they were ducking, and that he then Bill stepped back. Then this kid with that, he was drinking the bear water, but he fell on the floor and choking. And that big boy woman asked him, but she stepped back just because the cricket got the bear water. Then fainted. Then goes into the chicken, and they saw him turn into a chicken. And that light blue girl fainted, and this guy, he, they were the chicken, and then Cricket turns his outfit on, and then he doesn't want to go naked. Then the flower explode. Then that big boy one got her phone out and then walks away, but Bill stopped them for leaving. And then they saw that grandma flew, and then this white blue woman saw the kite, and then they were making using the kite. Then they got electrocuted by the power outage and the here, but they were looking back, but they were talking to them. They screamed in horror, and then they run away too. They went away from them, and he couldn't come back, but he's sad. And then lately, at the Big City Express Hardware, they were buying them as this. But later in the night, this is what they go with the pig, and then it was them. They were angry by this man and the woman and the kids, and then this girl knocked the food table down, and this guy with the fire on Nancy, and these girls throw tomatoes at their house, and then he got that on Cricket, and he fell off the roof or disappeared, and this white blue woman kicked the pig out of her way, and then they were near the guardrail, and then they were entering the house, and then he was worried, and Cricket is inside, and they throw tomatoes at him just because it looks like a blood, and then Granny took that outfit off and sits down, and then a group of people were angry, and then they were outside, and then he went bored, and talking to them, and then Celia is looking out the window, and then they were split, and they opened the door and they apologized, but they were angry and they stopped them, and he gave them the kiss, and they were looking at it, and then they were talking, explaining, and then Cricket turns himself back into the house, and they hug Alice, and they were smiling, and they decided to redo the table, and then these girls were drawing on Alice's face, and the episode ends when the kite was on fire. And that's how the episode goes. Anyways, who likes this episode? It's Kiko. He likes this episode a lot. Well, he sucks for doing this shit, and he better hate this episode right now. Who likes this episode? Me. I wish I can do the same thing as them. Screw Urban Legend, and also screw Home Showdown. If you like this episode, then Doki is a cookie. Anyways, no service is a million times better than this episode. But if you hate this episode, you know you're gonna hate this episode even more. Anyways, end of rant.
Clark, I cannot believe you ranted on Urban Legend this time. That's it. You are grounded until the worst skill type of change of reveals like Selena spits on his burger and throw cake on the ground will get removed from YouTube for good due to copyright or community guidelines. Get in your room right now.
Shut up, Bill!
Are you kidding me?
The end.